The following video contains language that may be inappropriate for young viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Welcome to Behind the Bars, where we bring the unseen and the unheard stories from the depths of the prison system to the forefront. I'm your host, Jason Boss, and together we'll explore the madness, the chaos, and the harsh realities hidden behind the steel doors of prisons worldwide. From the local jailhouse to death row across the world, we'll show you the isolation, the seclusion, and the decades spent enduring unimaginable conditions. These are the stories of survival, struggle, and humanity in places most of us will never see. We're here to shine a light on what society often forgets, the voices of the incarcerated. Each story is real, each voice is authentic, and every moment reveals the raw, unfiltered truth of life behind the bars. Join me for a journey like no other, a journey into the darkness, the truth, and the resilience of the human spirit. This is Behind the Bars, real life, real stories. Welcome to Behind the Bars. I am your host, Jason Boss. Today we delve into the case of Charles Victor Thompson, a man whose crimes and subsequent escape from death row have captivated the nation. In April of 1999, Thompson was convicted of capital murder for the 1998 shooting deaths of his ex-girlfriend, Dennise Hayslip, and her friend Darren Cain. The murders were marked by Thompson's violent tendencies, which reportedly included attempts to hire hitmen to eliminate witnesses while awaiting trial. Thompson's notoriety escalated in November 2005 when he executed a daring escape from Harris County Jail in Houston, Texas. By smuggling civilian clothes into his cell and using a forged ID badge, he impersonated a state investigator and walked out of the facility unchallenged. His escape led to a nationwide manhunt, culminating in his capture 4 days later outside a liquor store in Shreveport, Louisiana. Currently, Thompson resides on death row at the Polinsky unit in Livingston, Texas, where he awaits execution. His case continues to be a subject of discussion, highlighting issues within the criminal justice system and the lengths to which individuals may go to evade punishment. Join us as we explore the intricate details of Charles Victor Thompson's life of crime and the implications of his actions on the judicial system. Due to the extreme isolation techniques of the Texas Department of Corrections, I was unable to get Charles on the phone. However, I have reached out to him in writing and asked him to share his story. What you're about to hear is his response, in his words. This is his story.
My name is Charles Victor Thompson, and this is my story. I'm a native Texan, born and raised in Houston, Texas. I spent about 10 years of my childhood in Colorado before returning to Texas at 19 in the summer of 1989. Since then, Texas has mostly been my home, though I've traveled a lot, seeing 46 of the lower 48 states. This country is beautiful, with its vast open ranges, diverse landscapes, and incredible people. Truly, it's the land of the free and the home of the brave. In my 20s, I worked as a service subcontractor in air duct cleaning. I did well until Texas began requiring an AC license in the mid-1990s. And in 1995, I got out of the business. At the time, I was married with 2 kids. My wife and I decided to move back to Colorado, her home state, for a fresh start. Unfortunately, my drinking spiraled out of control, leading to a DUI that cost me everything: my job, house, wife, and kids, all in the span of a week. It was the worst week of my life, and a turning point that forced me to face my struggles. By Christmas of 1996, I had hit rock bottom. But hitting bottom also gave me the chance to rebuild. I found a job as a night manager at Subway, got a car, and started saving. By my 27th birthday in June 1997, I was determined to get back on my feet. Around this time, I met an older woman, and we became inseparable. We lived together and shared a year filled with fun and adventure. But my drinking problem, which I had never properly addressed, crept back into my life. Our nights were spent in bars, drinking from lunch until bedtime. Inevitably, our relationship fell apart. After the breakup, I moved in with a friend and eventually got my own place. For a while, I was doing well, working, paying minimal bills, and renting rooms to former coworkers. But I soon learned that my ex had started seeing a bartender we both knew. The betrayal hurt deeply, and my drinking worsened. By April 1998, This tumultuous relationship led to a crime of passion, a tragic love triangle that ended with me on Texas death row. At the time, I didn't fully understand the gravity of what had happened. During my trial in 1999, I was bombarded with new information, much of which I hadn't known before. It was overwhelming. Looking back, I see how my addictions shaped so much of my life. My first brush with the justice system came in the 1980s, during my teenage years. I spent time in the juvenile system, and by 18, I was emancipated and on adult parole. My addictions, fueled by an older brother who introduced me to drugs at 12, led me to crime. But even as a teen, the system didn't address the root causes of my behavior. Group therapy was superficial, focused on war stories rather than true rehabilitation. As I moved into adulthood, I struggled to stay clean. I went from job to job, trying to find stability. My father had taught me values like responsibility and finishing what I started, but addiction had a grip on me that I couldn't break. By 1995, I was using meth and hiding it from my wife. When she left, I tried to quit by running off to Mazatlan, Mexico, where I spent a year surfing, drinking, and partying. I managed to stay off meth during that time, but my other addictions worsened. When I returned to Arizona, I got involved in a smuggling ring and quickly found myself back on meth. In late 1996, I hit rock bottom again, strung out, broke, and living on Skid Row in Phoenix. A federal smuggling charge nearly ended my life, but I was released on a technicality. That second chance brought me home to Texas, where I tried to clean up my act. In 1997, I fell in love, but my unresolved addictions led me back into a cycle of drinking, drugs, and reckless decisions. This cycle ultimately culminated in the events that landed me on death row, a whirlwind of mistakes, heartbreak, and lost opportunities. Now, as I reflect on my life, I see how the justice system failed to address the deeper issues of addiction and mental health, not just for me, but for so many others. Prisons often punish without rehabilitating, leaving people to repeat the same mistakes. But I also recognize my own responsibility in the choices I made. Today, I strive to find meaning and redemption. Faith has played a role in this journey, and I believe we all have the potential to contribute something positive to the world, no matter our circumstances. From someone who was once blind, now I see. In struggle and solidarity, Charles Victor Thompson.